Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second half of this episode of EX Area. If you've missed it, go check out Chris's channel for the first half, where he covers most of the Japanese news. Well, I guess we cover. I was there also. And on this side, we're doing more of a focus on the English side. So welcome. And if you're listening on audio, then you were here already. So don't worry about it. All right. I want to say right off the top, Chris, it's been a really exciting time for Shadowverse. We've talked about this on your side as well, but just because crazy amounts of news, not only for Shadowverse Evolve, but also for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. And not only that, but how the two interlink. So I'm very happy to say that the integration between Worlds Beyond and Shadowverse Evolve is not just for the Japanese side, although the English side is a little different. So we'll talk about the differences here. So there's going to be a new starter set coming out on June 20th, which is actually the original starter set for Sword and Dragon, plus 3 Arcana packs, plus an exclusive deck box that has a Worlds Beyond leader artwork, a leader card featuring Marie or Galan from Worlds Beyond, and then an expansion pack containing 16 cards to upgrade the starter deck, as well as a serial code to redeem special rewards in Worlds Beyond. And the special rewards are basically equivalent to what you get in the Japanese side, which is, a sleeve, a pack ticket, an emblem for both the sets, and then if you get both, you get even more rewards for that. Unfortunately, on the English side, we don't get the special big box that comes with the sleeves and the real life playmat and the dice and stuff. That's only in Japan, and the reason being, they're making their tie-in with an upcoming set that has new cards that adapt Worlds Beyond, and obviously we can't get English cards a year early, so they had to adapt it in a strange way. The good news is that they adapted it so that the bonus for Worlds Beyond comes in Gods of the Arcana, which is already the second anniversary set that already has a lot of reasons to buy a case, like the serial number stuff and all that. But now you also have the chance to redeem up to 5 codes for Worlds Beyond rewards. Like, I think it is kind of a shame that obviously we can't get the same level of synergy that the JP side has just due to the time gap. But I think this is pretty cool consolation, honestly, Chris. What do you think? Like the fact that it's in the Gods of the Arcana.
I'm pretty sure the codes should work no matter what. Like, because Worlds Beyond would be just one server, right?
Oh yeah, true. So like, if you're playing the JP edition, you can just buy the new stuff anyway.
You can buy the English stuff. If you're playing the English, like if you're playing Worlds Beyond in English, you can buy the Japanese double deck set and enter that code too. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's they're giving so many reasons to buy Gods of the Arcana that it's kind of scary. Like, it's already got all the second anniversary perks, and now it's also got the Worlds Beyond perks. Like, the way it lined up was like just perfect, because it's all on the anniversary of Shadowverse as an IP, so it kind of makes sense. But like, it's just sick.
It's really exciting stuff. I'm really glad that I hope it's not a one-time thing. I hope like every set going forward has like some kind of like unlockables thing in Worlds Beyond too, because it feels like it's such a good incentive to make people just like want to buy stuff, right?
Yeah, and engage with the IP as a whole rather than it all being fragmented apart into separate corners as well. I mean, I hope that would be the case, because in Japan they are doing adaptations of the Worlds Beyond sets and even porting over Super Evolve as a mechanic. So we don't know for sure, but I mean, we can only hope. But it seems like further integration is what it seems to be happening. So at least that's a thing.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Right, awesome.
And speaking of exciting, there's a lot of stuff that was announced at the end of the Grand Showdown in Summerfest. So me and Cal had the pleasure of announcing these things, which was pretty fun to do for once. Haven't done that in a while. But we got the second anniversary coming up. Iggy, you want to run us through this?
Yeah, absolutely. So you got the second anniversary release tournaments with that demonium art, as well as like you can see there the participation prize, where you get 1 random card pack featuring these cards, which are all pretty good. You get Windflower Tiger, Pompous Summons, Creative Conjurer, Tico, Gallant, Armor Burst, Spirit Curator, Azurite Maiden, Fallen Shot, or the PR Rooney, which is the big hit there. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Just again, they're just giving you more and more reasons to engage with the Gods of the Arcana release cycle. So it's like, I feel like if you were ever gonna get into Evolve, this is the time, right? On the English side, anyway. So
I'm jealous of these flares. They look like
for
the app
Navi,
flares from actual like app Shadowverse.
Yeah, they kind of do, and they have Milteo on them, fan favorite character, of course. So there you go.
Big fan favorite. I feel like the person that chose Milteo from Bushrod is also a big Milteo fan at the same time.
Yeah, Absolutely.
And we got, of
We also
course,
talked about this on Chris's side, but of course, the Vanguard collab set has been announced for English, which is a big hype thing. And I think a lot of people who know Shadowverse Evolve from Different Fights channel feels weird calling you Different Fight in front of you because I'm your friend in real life. It's like
Yeah.
calling you by a weird like semi full legal name, Different Fight. If you're a fan of Chris from Chris's channel, you would probably want to get into Shadowverse Evolve through this collab. So
For sure.
very cool stuff. And we talked about this also on Chris's side, like I said, but we get a bit of a glow up too because the thick leader cards are actually box toppers now, so that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah,
So
that's so big. I'm so jealous
Yeah.
of this. Also, it's really another thing I'm jealous about. I didn't talk about this in my part, but there's going to be crossover duo tournaments for Vanguard and Evolve where you win this Bellringer Angel like effect PG that's like usable in any nation. So I think I should talk about this on my side because the Ignideus channel viewers are like, what the hell's a PG? It's like, this ain't Twin Drive.
That's fair enough. We can
But-
stitch this segment into your side too. Why not? But that's more work. Never mind.
But it's like, this is going to be like a tournament where you form teams of two and use different starter decks. And then you get this Sentinel, which is really cool because in Japan, you have to do so much to get this Sentinel. You have to like go to a teaching event, buy some packs, then go to another event to get these stamps, and you could exchange those for like the Bellringer Angel. But here's like just playing a tournament, bro. You get the promo.
It's pretty cool too. Like if you think about it, there's a couple of crossover cards both ways because in Vanguard you have the Bellringer Angel Sentinel, but there was also that that Lyria crit, right? That was also a thing. Yeah, so that's pretty cool too.
Wonder if that's gonna still happen too. Yeah, there'll be
And
like
there's
release
also
tournaments
the
as well.
Cardfight Vanguard release tournaments. So there's a sealed format. You get Promo Series 12 card pack and a Bushinami Flare featuring Leon Soryu. And you also get a promo version of Glory Maelstrom, which is a fan favorite character. And at least one of my friends likes him a lot. So there you go. That's pretty cool.
Although it says featuring Leon, but the character on this is Ren. So I wonder if
that's just like an error in the text or an error in the
like either this is the
graphic.
wrong flare or I'm assuming just the error in the text. Because I think the Ren flare was given out in Japan for playing in the Grand Prix of that season, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense to have it for something like this.
That's interesting. I guess we'll get confirmation on that sooner or later.
Maybe this will be fixed by the time that this episode goes up, and
Perhaps,
this will be lost
yeah.
in media.
If there is a correction, I'll try and pin a comment for it. So.
Yeah.
go.
This will be lost media.
Very, very interesting announcement that I was not expecting. A new Gloryfinder product out July 25th. It looks like 2 new starter decks. Yeah, Gloryfinder mentioned. We get Luxheart Legends, which looks like a forest thing, and Treacherous Ambitions, which definitely looks like a dragon-based thing. But of course, Gloryfinder is cross-craft, so there's always that. But I'm just saying that these look super sick. Cards that were not in the Japanese edition of Shadowverse Evolve. These are new to English only for the Gloryfinder format, similar to how it worked in the previous Gloryfinder bundle. I mean, the fact that they're making this product makes me think that, Gloryfinder must have at least been somewhat of a success because this is freaking awesome. We're getting more exclusive cards. So you can see here, Yggdrasil, Root of Life, and Lord of the Vahano Marsh are cards that did not exist in Shadowverse and are only playable in the Gloryfinder format. We also got a new Phylene form and Hastewing Dragon. I guess we can read the effects. Just
have you read these yet?
I have not actually.
Okay,
this is my first time.
Your head's gonna blow off, dude.
Okay, let me see. Yggdrasil, Root of Life. Ward, this follower can't attack enemies. Combo 3, gain +4 defense, draw 2 cards. Okay, that's really good. Evolve for 1. It still can't attack enemies, but last words until the start of your next turn, your leader can't lose defense. Like, oh dang, I love that. That's so sick.
And she's pretty cool because she's a ward, so it's like she can't attack, but she gets cleared out, and then you just have like a protection, basically.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, in Gloryfinder, not being able to lose defense is just great in general. And also the fact that they're actively supporting the Gloryfinder format. We'll talk about this in a second when we talk about the restricted list, but they actually updated a restricted list for Gloryfinder. This makes me happy to see, like these fun little side formats are part of what makes a game's ecosystem feel more lively, and I appreciate it. So.
Yeah. For sure.
Lord of the Vahano Marsh. Return each enemy follower and enemy card in the EX area to its opponent's hands. Okay. That's like targeting Fable so hard.
Yeah, it just bounces everything on all players.
Yep. Evolve 2. You get Give each enemy leader -1 card for every card in its controller's hand. Yo!
You got
It
7 card
really
hand,
punishes you for
-7
having-
defense to everyone.
Right? That's
Crazy.
awesome.
But
And
this
then on the dragon side, we got our new Phylene. Select any number of enemy followers on the field and engage them. That's really good.
Yep.
Evolve 1. Evolve this follower. Select an opponent. Each follower on their field doesn't refresh. Okay, until the start of during their next start phase. At the start of your end phase, select an opponent and draw cards equal to the number of engaged followers on their field. That's so funny. So if you guys didn't know, Gloryfinder is a 3 to 4 player game where now you can just specifically hate one guy at the table, which is part of the fun.
Yeah.
Get arguments started.
Phylene stares at you. Tells you can't play today.
We also get a Haste-Wing Dragonute. If there are at least 7 face-up evolve followers in your evolve deck, evolve this follower. Okay, fantastic. You can also evolve it for 7 cost instead, which is crazy. And then on evolve, it has Storm, Ignore Ward, and whenever this deals damage to an enemy leader, cover your play points.
This one is so crazy. It's so crazy, dude. It's like, I'm gonna deal 5 ignoring ward and then just like recover 10.
You know, I have a really soft spot in my heart for Haste-Wing Dragonute in the first place because it's one of the first cards I revealed for digital Shadowverse back in the day, like years and years and years ago. But that card was so bad in digital. And then now he's getting his comeback as in Gloryfinder, apparently. That's crazy. So yeah, that's just a sneak peek of some of the cards available in this new bundle coming out on July 25th. Lots happening in the June-July zone for Shadowverse, I will say. Like, what the heck? There's gonna be a Shadowverse summer. That's all I'm saying.
I think there's also the card list, I think, got shown somewhere. Let me check.
Oh, really? Yeah, we also get like a bit of a look at their leaders.
Yeah, so there's been the leader story
champion.
of Bale as well as
this is a completely new character that we've never seen before, Vidar. Bale we've seen in a few arts before, but Vidar is completely new. Very cool.
But so this is like gonna be the new cards on this side, but they show the reprints as well. The forest side is like you got Spinaria reprints, Cosmos Fang's like alright, Sylvia reprint's pretty good. Then there's like quite a few good golds, like Rhinos, like, you know, Roach itself, Globe, then like the like what is it? Michelle's pretty decent too.
Michelle's not bad, yeah.
The forest ones are like pretty good, but then you see the dragon one and your jaw's gonna drop.
Show me. Agemitsu, okay. So Medusa is in this?
Rune Medusa.
Haka is in this? Okay, we'll clarify.
Yeah,
the Bav Katha and Olivia. Okay, that's crazy. And Oracle? Okay, must buy.
Oracle, Tartman, Kawi, like it's
Bellringer
again. No, Bellringer wasn't in the previous one. I really wanted it to be in the last one, but
Bellringer was in the previous one. I have a non-foil Bellringer from the previous one. Yeah,
like something else I was wanting to see.
Man, that's crazy.
The dragon one is so crazy value.
That's cracked. Okay, I will say, to clarify to everybody, the legendary reprints in these sets are non-foil compared to the regular one, but they're still legal. They're still legal for a regular play, not just in Gloryfinder plays. So if you pick this up, you really slash the cost of your deck. I'm not gonna lie, especially for Ozzy, the Haka, and Medusa. That's crazy. Medusa's been
used for so long.
A lot of decks only run Ozzy at 1 anyway, so like
and it's
really
like
good.
The price is pretty nice too because they're like you can just buy these like separately as 2 different decks and they're like $35 each. So honestly,
buy the dragon one for me.
For what you get, especially the dragon one is like crazy good.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. So Gloryfinder, I'm
very excited about that.
Looking cool, and there'll be more reveals going forward. So make sure you visit Bouchard Expo to see the new Gloryfinder cards
that's really hype.
With your very own eyes.
I literally could always use more Dragon Oracles, so like I might just buy the Dragon pre-built just for that. Like that's already value to me. So, all right, let's see. We also got Showdown Series 4 announced, which will happen starting in I believe it was May, from April to May. And we got a Rabbit Mage participation prize, the Evolve version, top 8 PR Soul Conversion, and most importantly, the PR Dragon Oracle for being champion.
The Forte Oracle, bro.
So beautiful. That was in Japan for a while, I believe, as a
Yeah,
shop
yeah,
promo.
yeah.
But yeah, now you
best.
can get it for being a champion at Showdown Series 4 in English.
Soul Conversion is
and
really
also,
nice too.
yeah, the Soul Conversion looks not bad as well. It's the alt art that was in the digital game also.
Yeah.
The Dragon Oracle Forte art, though, is completely a Shadowverse Evolve original. That's not
Yeah.
in the digital game, so that's very, very cool.
Can't wait for Galmu Dragon Oracle.
That would be sick. Then you'd have a complete Galmu deck.
Yeah.
I also want to say, regarding Grand Showdown, Grand Showdown Sombren is the last Grand Showdown as we know it. The Grand Showdown structure is changing. So instead, there's going to be a Grand Showdown across regions at the same time. So the Series 4 Grand Showdown has been announced. It's going to be at Dark Store La Roma in North and Latin America, Comic Planet Duisburg in Europe, and Agora Hobby in Asia and Oceania. And you can see from the dates here, June 28, June 28, June 29, they're all around the same time. So
same weekend, basically.
now, hopefully, there's just more places to play. So wherever you are in the world, you can go to the closest Grand Showdown to you. Another very interesting change that I think is positive is that there is a participation fee, but you get tons of goodies for paying the participation fee, like a special storage box with the Zalgenia art on it, mat, Nature's Guidance PR card. So, the fact that this kind of participation fee, because most of the times events are run at a loss, this kind of thing will hopefully be able to fund, more places to play and more events in the future. That's the idea, I guess, but, we never know. But I think it's generally a positive change for this kind of thing. I don't know. Like, what's your thoughts on this?
I personally think it's also quite cool. I put out like a post as well asking people from other Bouchard games like what they think about it, because a lot of other card games do this where it's like you pay an entry fee, you get merch basically, and it's like, some people are saying, oh, maybe it could be cool to like be able to enter for free, and then if you want the merch, you can pay the participation fee. Just because Bouchard card games have been running on free to enter bases for like 15 years basically.
Right.
But
so changing the paradigm maybe is a tough ask.
But honestly, like the Bushi Supplies playmats, like aren't they like $30 or something, or 35 like to begin with? Like the Rose Queen and the Orcus ones that have come out until now. So
and this is an exclusive one for the Grand Showdown. So.
Yeah, so it's like an extra $5 or $10, but you also get a storage box and it's like an exclusive mat and you get a promo. It's like, I think it's quite all right, especially like with how good these mats are. So personally speaking, I think it's a pretty decent participation fee. It's just that because these are happening, in NALA, Europe, and Asia Oceania, I wonder if it's like $40 converted to SGD and in euro, or is it like €40 and 40 SGD? Because then 40 SGD isn't 40 USD, right? So
yeah, but it says USD, so I assume it's converted, but we don't know. I guess we'll figure it out once there's more information.
Hey man,
about
you can play in this Agora Hobby June 29th.
That is my main store also, so
yeah,
I can just go
boot up,
dude. And also we have the top cut pricing. So top 32, you get the Nature's Guidance PR, and then top 16, you get that crazy art of Celia Sky Commander.
Yep.
And top 8, you get Chad Zelgania. I will say also, they say that the region exclusive hot stamps are staying, so depending on where you play, the hot stamp will be different as well. And the champion receives an additional top 8 promo card and an unsponsored invite to Worlds, which is a big deal.
Imagine locking in Worlds like almost a year before it happens. Like that's crazy. It's like the earliest, like next to the world champion, that is the earliest you can get a Worlds invite.
I mean, I'm probably gonna be in Singapore at that time, so I'll play. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's go. Lock in.
He will not be commentating next year. He's gonna be playing. Boot up the Worlds.
Don't lock that in. Okay? Don't listen to what he's saying.
I like it. Right. Cool structure, especially like the GP Zelganea being available like for many people across the world is really nice. So,
I don't know. I kind of understand why some people are down about having to pay to play, but like, you need to make money to run these events. So I don't know. I think it's generally, especially if you're traveling anyway, it's like $40 on top of that, on top of flight and food and board. Like that's like basically, I don't want to say nothing, but like you can factor it in as a cost of your trip rather than, a separate fee. Is my thinking. Yeah.
So I think it's okay. It's like, at the end of the day, you pay for events outside of card games, a lot of things like even locals costs to pay to play. So it's like, I feel like, it might appear a little bit steep, jumping to $40 immediately, but I do think it's worth to try out and see how it goes. I wonder how frequent these will be though, because it does say this is, Series 4. It's the first one, all happening in June. like when are we getting the fifth one, right? When is it going to be every other month, every 3 months? You know, that's kind of like the pace of these. I'm also quite curious about myself.
Yeah, they said it's going to be held simultaneously across regions, but is it every season or what? Right, that's the good question.
Yeah,
so, there you go.
So
yeah. Anyway, pretty cool. Anyway, finally, the other announcement from Sommeren was the restricted list update. So the biggest thing, of course, is that the Vortex Dragon from the upcoming Vanguard collab has been pre-restricted to 1 per deck, which I think is fair considering that deck was crazy when it came out. In Gloryfinder, this is sad for me because this was my main combo in Gloryfinder. Deepwood Anomaly and Outrunning the Encroaching Heat have been choice restricted. Honestly,
combo, dude.
I get it, but there were outs to this. The bigger problem was Armor of Stars on Deepwood Anomaly, giving it aura so that it couldn't be targeted. Because if you play Outrun the Encroaching Heat on it, it could just get executed. It could get, retribution. It could get bounced back. There's answers to it. So I understand, but I think I can still make Deepwood Anomaly work with the right tools. So
he could fix her.
I can fix her. Just put Armor of the Stars on her, dude. It's still good. Trust.
Yeah.
And then also we got a Crosscraft restriction. Tin Soldier is restricted to 1 per deck because in the Crosscraft format where you can mix classes, it was a fun little format you could do at side events, at events. So, apparently Fable was just way too strong, and I get it. Tin Soldier is clearly one of the best Fable cards because you just ping for free 5 bajillion damage. So, makes sense. That restriction is also implemented on Japanese Crosscraft. So there you go.
Exactly.
I will say one notable exclusion is that Earthright was not pre-restricted, which a lot of players were sort of bubbling about and like, what's the word? Like the discourse was percolating about it. And it turns out it's not. I wonder if it's because they're adding the Dragon Blader and the Mysteria stuff into the Set 9 release as well. And I wonder if they think that's like the shake it up.
Yeah, that might be the shake up they're trying to go for. So I guess we'll see. At the end of the day, it's going to be the Worlds meta, and I don't think like Summerfest, I guess that transitions very well into our next section, but like Summerfest will happen after Worlds, and like the earliest ones are basically just a couple of weeks after, after Worlds, which is May 24th, 25th. In Long Beach.
That is the next our next topic is that the Summerfest page is updated with all of the event information, so you can take a look at that and see if there's any coming near you. It's pretty cool because the prizes in Summerfest are very cool, especially for Evolve, for me particularly, because you get the super high detail Kagemitsu prize. If we can just bring that up. It's such a cool art, man. Like I just love it so much. Like look at it. It's like an extremely photorealistic Kagemitsu.
I just love that it says like Summerfest on the side of it. It's this like dude staring at you.
But that's for the top 4, and then for the champion you also get the card itself that you can actually play. Oh, it's so sick, man. I'm gonna have to lock in. I'm gonna have to travel all the way to the States for this. I think.
No, I mean you can play in Asia too. I like the top 8. The Summon Bloodkin. I feel like this must have come out already in Japan, but I must have missed it. But
it is in digital. I know that, but
yeah. I remember this art. But it looks so good.
Looks so good, dude.
Yeah, the promo pack is also quite good. Like the Zealot with the stamp looks pretty nice.
I will say, if you're unaware, Summerfest is sort of like the in-between. So after the Worlds happens, but before the next season begins proper, Summerfest is sort of like what the in-between is. And there's still a lot of cool places to play and things to win. So, just look forward to that, I guess. There you go.
Quickly going through the other Boucher games as well. There's like the side event, or like either you have Premium or you have the Lyrical Cup.
Lyrical Monasteria,
Steam ad for Lyrical Cup looks insane. It's like so good. Actually, very cool. But yeah, and also like even the top 4 playmats for Vanguard as well look very nice. Actually, like kind of want this
again though. It is a little funny to see like the Summerfest and like the festive little font, and then like all of the art
Destroyer of the world,
extremely grim. Super dark dragon man.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But yeah, so I'll bring up the schedule again for people that want to join. So in the States, we have May 24th, 25th, then skip 2 weeks basically for June 7th and 8th for basically, this is going to be in Canada,
California, right?
And then Mexico.
Oh, Canada, sorry.
And then 2 weeks later is going to be the Rosemont, Illinois one. Then a month later is Puerto Rico, and then a month later will be Texas, and then again in Canada, and then at the end of August will be Duluth and Philadelphia. There might be, I don't know if this is all the locations. They always like add more like randomly. So
right.
watch this.
So just keep an eye on the website, I guess, is what we can say.
So then for Europe, start in Italy, then go to Germany, then France, then Hungary, and then Netherlands in Zoetermeer, and then in UK at the end of August, and then Spain end of September. So you can kind of see that a lot of the last dates are towards the end of or like mid of September. So you can expect that maybe BCS will restart around like October again.
And these are the ones I have to look at. Which ones am I playing at for Asia, Oceania? Jakarta! Let's go!
Let's go! August 2nd and 3rd, Jakarta.
Singapore, let's go!
Yep, Singapore, 23rd and 24th of August. Melbourne will be mid-September as well. And then the first one will be in June. Doesn't say which day yet, but it will be in Sydney. And then in July, there'll be one in Malaysia. So
interesting.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they're happening all over the place, and their prizes are cool, man. Like I'm going in there for that Kage Mitsu. Unfortunately, you have to actually win to get it. So I'll be happy with the top 4 if I can manage that. But if I can actually win, that'd be super dope.
And the Gloryfinder spawn promo as well.
That's right.
In the Gloryfinder
free fight.
Pretty good.
And a Crosscraft free fight too. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So they got all the like side events and whatnot that you have out there as well that you can play in, which is pretty good. And then it's also like the funny energy for Vanguard. So they have like a little streams tab up here that is not clickable just yet, but
it makes you think. Huh?
It makes you raise eyebrows. But anyway, speaking of events happening in
big news,
less than 2 months or like 5 weeks at this point is World Finals, May 2nd. It's gonna be happening for all Bushard card games in Japan.
Oh, who's that handsome devil on the top left there?
Whoa, who's the handsome devil at the middle left middle left
bottom left, I guess.
who's the guy like behind my Vanguard circle?
Yeah, that's right. So in Worlds happening in May, both me and Chris will be there, and actually I think we're also both there for Card Game Fest right afterwards too. So
yep, come catch us at the weekend. So here's the participation prizes for Vanguard. It's the Ephemera. If you just play in Worlds,
for Evolve, really nice.
Then an Akina energy generator just for playing in Worlds is insane to think about.
Yeah,
it's based. And then you get name tag cards. You get your own personal Evolve point.
That's so cute Evolve. That you get the Chibi Arisa for the Evolve name tag.
Yeah, right. And then you get like a whole like supply set just for basically for participating. So all standard participants for Vanguard get like the Japanese Worlds like set. It's like the playmat was only for, I want to say, wait, did this playmat even? No, it was a different playmat for Japan. No, I think it was top 8 maybe. I feel like because the sleeves you got for participating, playmat you got for top 8, and then the card was for top 3. Everything else is English original. Literally this entire art was created just for Worlds, which is crazy. This doesn't exist in Japanese. It's really nice. And then for Vice, we have Freerun supply set with Fern, and then for Evolve, of course, we have Sisters in Bloom. It's the JCS
same art
from
as the
last
one
year.
for the JCS last year, but yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks so good. So good. And top 8, get another, well, like the same as the entry card for everything but Vanguard Standard. Vanguard Standard gets the Keter Sanctuary Valnot. And you also get a top 8 like flare with your respective game. A little mono next to it for Evolve, which is nice. Then top 4 gets the same thing, but just with a different hot stamp. And also with the, same thing for your flare. And the World Champion gets an exclusive card. So the Akina freaking Keter Sanctuary starter for the World Champion.
That's a flex. That's a mad flex. You run up with that.
And then for Evolve, it's the Sisters in Bloom Altar mono, but with no effect, so it's basically not playable. It's basically just like a trophy card, but it's very beautiful. So it's gonna be a banger.
Heck yeah. And also, again, Bushard Card Game Festival happens literally right after Worlds, and we are going to be there just hanging out. But also, if you're curious and wanting to come to Japan anyway, I believe they did say there's going to be a Worlds Beyond like showcase at Card Game Fest. So I'm gonna be there for that alone, if anything. So you can catch me there.
Yep. And you can already buy tickets on the Bouchard Global online store. So make sure that you pick up your tickets. There's like all kinds of exclusive promos and playmats you can get as well, which is pretty cool. So
Nice.
gonna be a good time. I think Evolve should be quite heavily featured in there as well.
Heck yeah.
All right.
All right.
I think it's time now to take a look at some of the results that have been happening on the English side, because we just had Zombran, but leading up to Zombran after the set 8 release, we had a lot of BCSs happening in the English side.
Yeah, all over the place too. Like international game, man. Let's first take a look at Tampa here real quick. Tampa, Florida. Boats Don't Sink won first place with a Lashana control rune. I mean, with the addition of Sweet Tooth Medusa, like you just get so much more, removal and like cost reduction that it really makes the deck just flow better. I think it's pretty interesting that they run a one of Center Street just to deal 5 to something interesting. It is generally
I guess it's good into like Anastasia and whatnot.
Right.
So
yeah.
she buffs, becomes a 3/5, so it's just like a meta call basically.
And of course, with Merlin, you can toolbox any of your spells anyway, so it's all good, right? So
and you can play this for
seems
free with
fine.
Merlin's Evolve too.
True, yeah. And also the 2 of spell Full Bloom Panorama just to destroy 2 enemy followers. Like again, getting rid of huge buffed puppet boards, so not bad as well. Especially since when you're in the late game with Lashana Rune, you're just using your idols, like your destruction in white, destruction in black, to deal all the damage anyway, and all you have to do is survive. You can afford spending your whole turn just removing stuff, and you're still advancing your win con anyway. So there you go.
Yeah. So
very cool.
Very good. Honestly, huge congrats, because we saw Lashana on stream so many times, but it just did not manage to win it out. So it's cool to see that it managed to win in Tampa. Second place was Sun with Puppet Forest. So we're running King Elephant, which was quite surprising.
Just a one-of, just a surprise. Interesting. No King Elephant Evolve, though. It's just playing it for the base body is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you... It still has Storm, still gains a bunch of stats, so it's just for that little bit of extra damage on 6. Otherwise, you have Roach as well.
Right. We also see the Nelcha, we see the Sukuna, we see 3 of Goddess by the Sunlit Sea, which is just a combo enabler, right? Because you draw a card, and then if you have Anastasia, you recover 1 anyway, so that adds into your combo. So, yeah, just really good. And we actually see an Elf Song as well, just for additional buff as well, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Elf Song's also very good.
And then we see Thief Sword.
Geo Module with a Thief. So this deck did not do anything in Japan, which is really cool to see that like English really, like, there's quite a few good results for Thief Sword, because there's like Dance, which is like a 4-cost spell that deals 4 damage to any number of followers divided between. But if your opponent has 10 or more in Cemetery, it's 8 damage instead. If they have 20, it's 8 damage to enemy leader as well.
Yeah.
So it's
just a late game, like, I win card, which is pretty cool. We see the 2 of Sylvia tech as well that you ran in your Galmio. Again, just to deal with big dudes, I suppose. So
it's like if you play her for the 7, she just destroys something and deals 5 to the enemy leader. So it's also pretty good.
Not the worst thing in the world for sure.
Yeah.
The more I look at it, the more I'm like, I should run this in my Galmio deck. I'm gonna put that
really
in.
Good, yeah.
I'm gonna put that in as soon as this episode ends, honestly.
Speaking of Galmio, in 4th place was Sam with the updated Galmio. So basically just running like Dragon Soul Princess for the consistency. Really good card. Does kind of what new Galmio's gonna do in the Japanese format. And of course, Azidahaka!
Yeah, the fact that Azidahaka is in that Gloryfinder bundle is even more crazy than me, considering like how ubiquitous it is in the class. It's just like it's everywhere, and now you can just get one. Like, it's so good.
The Gloryfinder bundle.
Let's go. That's an inside joke. You guys don't understand why Chris saying Gloryfinder bundle is funny. I was there in that recording studio. I know why it's funny.
But the new Gloryfinder decks aren't the bundle. They're separate decks. So it's no more Gloryfinder bundle.
Next up, we have Sydney. So that's pretty cool. Chappers is always showing up in any of the Australian events. Showing up here with Kuon. Very nice.
Yeah, this deck's always gotten like little bits and bobs of support and just like good spells. So
I think it's just really cool also to see, Evolve rewards consistency. Chappers, we've seen him top so many times, and now he's here yet again, topping another BCS. So very, very cool.
William, though, with that the 2-cost Crimson Rose Queen Abysscraft deck. This
I
is what
mean,
ultimately won
you can speak
Zomran
to
as well.
this because like you saw it in Somran just dominate. So there you go.
I see a lot of English lists running Valneric. She wasn't really run in Japan too much. It's like you have Storm if you have Sanguine active, and then on strike, deals X damage to enemy leader, which equals the number of times your leader's lost defense this turn. If you're at 7, then she gets +2/+2. So she's like a 4. Storm, it's pretty good. It's like just like a little bit of extra damage if you need it for the win, which is not bad.
We also see the third place is the Forest Craft deck. It's also Puppet Forest, but instead of running Elf Song, it runs Ivy Spellbomb, which I think is quite interesting because it
We
can
saw this
take out a
GCS, I
5
think.
defense guy and also burn face. So if you're fighting
Yeah.
an opposing Anastasia, potentially you take out their board while also pushing your damage while pushing your board also.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like generally quite neat. And then 4th place was also actually looks like the same list.
No, it has
Just-
one Spinaria in the
Oh,
other
okay.
one. That's
Slightly different.
interesting.
True, yeah. It does have the spin. So yeah, spin was played a lot more in Japan in Puppets compared to what I've been seeing in English.
It's just like a great filtering tool, so I mean it makes sense.
Yep. Then we have Cardiff. Happened as well on the same weekend. So this was first place was won by actually a friend of mine, Spectral Designs.
I think we've seen them top as well before, right? So again, like Evolve just rewards consistency. I love that.
So this is interesting new like technology in Natural Sword with the Roland. So Roland is a 4-cost 3/4 with ward that either makes the Durandal to your hand or summons Durandal from hand. Then you evolve it for 1 and then refreshes each amulet on your field, start event phase, heals your leader 3, and draws a card if you have Durandal on the field. Durandal engages itself and either buffs something by +1, gives +1 health to a follower, or basically makes it that if a follower takes more than 3 damage, it becomes 3 instead.
That's pretty cool. And because you refresh your amulet, you get to do that twice in one turn.
Yep. So it's like you can buff something to attack with. You can give that annoying protection effect against like more big damage decks. So it's a pretty cool card. It's much more techy. It's like, especially if you want to make like one of those like Balion, Mistelina setups, she can like kind of step in to protect your Balion and whatnot, or like make your Balion harder to trade off. Or like, you know, if she sticks it, like, you know, if Durandal is on the board, like the only annoying thing is that it gets in the way a little bit of your like board setup with like your trees and your, you know, your like Mistelina can't engage.
It's another
for
thing you
trees.
have to manage, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. So props to people that can play this variant of the deck well, because I definitely am more of a fan of just like keeping it pure and just maybe playing like the ether for like some consistency, and that's it.
Yeah. That's a lot of moving parts on that list, which is
Yeah.
pretty tough to pilot it.
Yeah.
We also see Aggro Haven. That's kind of hype with the Ruby Falcon and the Amethyst line just to go phase, but also the
It's like
ward
Ward Haven,
pieces
basically.
with,
Yeah.
it's like ward but with an aggressive early game. Pretty
Yeah.
interesting mixture.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Unbanned Zinc, doing quite well. It's also expected Haven to show up in the European Grand Showdown, because like Europe just saw Haven tops in the BCS circuit. And then another loot
again. Yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, this wasn't really played in the Japanese meta, but it
No,
seems like
not
it's
at all.
doing pretty well.
Genuinely was like not catching on at all. So
Interesting.
it's really been doing numbers. And Twink, let's go Twink. With finally we see a puppet list with Cassiopeia in it.
Yeah, and this is a more controlling variant, it looks like,
Yeah.
with the Cass.
I do feel like she's quite good in like specific matchups. So we saw her be like, there were some instances during Zamarin where like it was like, oh, if you have Cassiopeia right here, it's like just clears the board. It's like,
Right.
it's really good when you have like a full EX area and just like 5 cards in hand and just boom, 10 damage distributed. So,
very cool. Very
Pretty
cool.
good stuff. Up next, Jakarta.
Home turf.
Yep. Won by Lisha now.
Raja Terakir. I think that's Epunk. I think
Oh,
Epunk
okay.
is it?
Gets the
I have to
back-to-back
double check.
qualification.
I have to double check, but I think it is. I think people are messaging me on the day saying that he topped yet again.
Damn.
So there you go.
Unstoppable. Actually unstoppable. That's good. It'd be nice to see him again at Worlds as well.
And it's with Lashena as well, so there you go.
Yeah, all these Lishana tops. It's cool to see. And then Brahma with the 2-cost Rose Queen Abyss with the 1 Tartman, just to find your like whatever key card you need.
Very cool. I think Tartman is not a bad tech in a lot of decks, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I just double confirming. Yeah, Epunk won VCS Jakarta again is what
Okay.
Daniel told me. So yes, it is indeed him. There
Yeah.
you go. Shadowverse Evolved rewards consistency. Crazy.
That's good stuff.
But yeah, the Tartman tech, you can slot it if you have the 1. It's like it's not a horrible pick in pretty much anything. If you have like a one card like win condition that you need to get. So I don't hate it. And the fact that you also get it in the Gloryfinder deck is not bad for that reason.
Even more reason to pick it up.
Yeah.
And Yasuki with the one Spinaria version of Puppet.
Indeed. Very cool.
Yep. And then
definitely expected another Puppet deck here as well.
With Kamra. So shout out to all the Puppet gamers. It was really like a big trendy week for Puppet. Then we go to Toronto, start of March. Puppets win the whole thing with in Arya's hands. And then we had Urchin
Puppet
Rumbler
in second place.
with Puppet in second place. And then we take a look at the third place. Hey, it's Puppet again with Noxie. And then in fourth place, what is it? Oh, it's Puppet again with William. Uh-oh. So this is like, again, this makes it crazy that Puppet didn't win the Grand Showdown. Like, this deck was really, really trending going into March.
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. Puppet. Let's see.
And then for Rowan, we have Rowan.
Wow, Puppet won the whole thing. Well. Let's go Shadow. Yep.
Very cool.
And second place.
It's a bit more varied. In second place, we got Natura Sword. Very strong deck still, with the Durandal tech as well.
And the Armor of the Stars, too.
The one of Cyclone Blade I actually quite like. It's pretty good against like the wide Puppet boards. You just clear the whole enemy board, no?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. It's good stuff. And then in third place, we have Doom Templar with the 2-cost Abyss. So again, very nice. A very, very strong deck that...
no Valorant in this version. So there you go.
Not running the it's more similar to like the Japanese list, I'd say. And finally, Yoder with good old Galmu getting another
3 Dahakas is crazy, I think. That's nuts. Bro is going full Daka.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's like the fact that it's 3 Ozzy and only 2 Forte is the surprising part.
What is happening? Bro's going
a lot of stuff in this
hog
list,
wild. I love it though. I mean, it worked.
Yeah. It worked. It absolutely worked. Then finally, we have Puerto Rico. Happened just a week ago. Won by Puppet once again.
Yeah.
And then in second place, we have Pleb with
Machina of this. Yo!
Still
very
in current
cool.
year in the Big 25.
Yeah, it's not all just Rose Queen. If it turns out if you can get that like the crazy mono early game, you're able to still clinch wins. Love it.
Shout out to Pleb. Not a Pleb at all.
Not a Pleb at all, man.
And we got Wei.
That's how he won the sandbagging.
Yeah. Wei with the big Puppet again in the third. And finally, Shadow Jong with...
Hold up.
This is like...
What?
Control Sword?
Mid-range sword? It has an Albert in it? Dione?
So she's a 3/3/3 with Storm that evolves for 6.
2 Miho Kohinatas? What am I looking at?
This was like, what is it? She's like, deals 2 damage to something on evolve. For like a 2/2/2, 1 to evolve is like not bad. Takes out some annoying.
3 Mayu Sakumas?
This was a control card. So you'd play this. She has a Sailbane Drain, and then you would you'd use Armor of the Stars to give her aura. And then she'd be like just draining and swinging at stuff while being untargetable.
This is a crazy list. I love seeing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Just randomly topping with the spiciest thing you've ever seen.
People definitely didn't prepare for this. So big shout outs to Shadow Jong.
Heck yeah.
And then finally, we had Zwolle happened just a week before the European Grand Showdown. And it was won by Ramp Dragon.
Control ramp with the 1 Sylvia, the 2 Israfils. You even get the bright lights, Fumika Sagisawa.
Yeah. Like play out your 3-in-1 drops. It's good with Phylene, but shout out to Flare Enix. Was also in round 1 on stream, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on Zwolle too, and won that game as well.
Crazy. That's such a cool list too. Love it. 2 Tartman, 3 of the Akari Sujino, which is a really good legendary on paper, and finally finds a home in this list too. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So then Sun came second with Natura Sword. This is when we started to see like, hold up, Natura Sword really picked up in that week. And so then it did really, really well in the Grand Showdown.
Lots of decks running Sylvia, I'm noticing as well. There you go.
Yeah. And then Light actually came third back to back across 2 weekends. So Light came third in the BCS and then came third in the Grand Showdown as well. So like locked in Worlds twice, 2 weeks in a row with the same deck.
Crazy.
So very impressive. Also with the Maisha, we saw the Maisha actually swing for 20 damage on stream, which was pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see it. And
the stream was really good. There was really
Reedy.
a lot of good games. So yeah, the highest placing puppet in Zwolle was 4th with Reedy.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I think that dragon deck is crazy. I love that.
Yeah, the ramp is really like,
and that sword deck from Kaguas as well. Man, I love people are still innovating as well. You know, people think it's like a solved meta, but a lot of the times you can build on top of what the Japanese side did as well. So
yeah,
there you have it, proving it
really,
right
really
here.
Cool. So then finally, just to take a look at some of the results from the Grand Showdown. Just gonna go through the top 8.
I kind of want to ask you at first, like you casted it. What was your experience? Was it just like a fun vibe, good games?
Yeah, it was really, really good. We had some technical difficulties with the stream, so some people might have noticed that like the round would finish in person, and then after that we would like basically be doing the actual casting for it on stream. And it was basically just due to like technical issues that we had to have that delay. But it ended up being still like very smooth. Really good games. Like once the VOD is up, really recommend checking it out just to see like some really high caliber Shadowverse. There was some quite surprising decks. I have a notepad here actually. I was taking notes throughout all the games because I was just like, you know, tracking what was on stream. So I can actually tell you there was a lot of really interesting stuff. Let me quickly find. So it was like we had puppets against like Flarinx's ramp on round 1. Then we had like puppets versus Lishana, and then Lishana took its first L. We had Galmu on round 3, and then the Galmu made all the way to top 16 in Hansi's hands. And then we had Earthright won a game on stream and then make top 32 as well. And then like I think what else we got? We had like lots of puppets, lots of Natural Sword, lots of Lishana, and then I think I had the distribution somewhere. I think the actual top 8 was basically I'm trying to remember. It was 4 forests, 2 swords, 1 rune, 1 abyss. So the forests were all puppets, the swords were all Natura. The 1 rune was Lishana, and then the abyss was the 2-cost abyss that won the whole thing in Kriko's hands. So the stream games were really, really good. So highly recommend watching them because also like a lot of the people that were featured in like early rounds on stream ended up making top cut. So it's a really good experience. So definitely recommend checking it out. But then for the actual like lists that made it, this is the top 8. I don't think the top 8 is featured anywhere else just yet, at least at the time of recording. So this is Cornflakes' puppet list with the Ivy Spellbomb. And then this is Analyze's Lishana. This was the best performing Lishana of the day. Made it to top 8. So managed to walk home with that the playmat, which is really,
lots
really
of
nice.
text in here. We got the Fall from Grace. We got the Maisha package, Curse Crafter at 1.
Slash
even
of the
after the
1.
restriction. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like quite cool text. Also running the one of Maisha as well. Like the Verdict Discovery as well. It's like it's got Merlin as well, which like, you know, it's splashing quite a lot of like non-Lishana stuff in it, which I think is very cool. So you see kind of like how the list has like evolved over time, which I think is overall just like a very nice thing to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and like with Merlin's existence, you can just toolbox any spell you want. So it just it lends itself to this kind of flexible deck building.
Exactly.
It really lets player expression shine through, which I like about it.
Yeah. So to finish up the top 8, we had Axel with Puppet Forest as well. Pretty standard list, I want to say, for the most part. It's like the one of guidance, just to like bounce like your Skunas and whatnot, or like your Roach. And then the last top 4 was Sang. This was with Natural Sword. So this one also running 3 Sylvias, actually. Okay, I didn't know that.
Woo.
So really making sure you're taking out the annoying, you know, Anastasias. And it's like, I guess it's also good in the mirror because you can get rid of your opponent's Mistelina for just 2 cost, which is pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Good tech. Good tech.
And the more I see Sylvia, the more I'm like, I gotta run this in my stuff.
Yeah, it's also good into Rose Queen because Rose Queen sometimes just like stays like, you know, like doesn't even engage, and then it's hard to trade her off. So you just like use the Sylvia and then she's gone. So that was our last top 8. And then in 4th was Stein. So Stein finished 4th with puppets. So this was also
with the 1 king
puppets
elephant.
with the 1 king elephant. So It's
Are there any King Elephant Evos in this one? No, as well.
yeah, it's the same, yeah.
Huh.
Pretty crazy. So Stein, I think did we have Stein on stream? I think we might have had him once, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta check my list because I think we had. I'm trying to remember. I think we had him at some point, but it was towards the end, if I'm not mistaken. Because top 8 we featured Symphonus, or maybe. Oh yeah, he was. No, I think we didn't have Stein on
Dang.
stream. Yeah, so he was like the only top 4 player I think that evaded the stream somehow. I think, but the live stream happened pretty late at night for me, so I might be forgetting. But anyway, in third place was Light with the Natra sword. So this one was running the Maisha. So this was the fancy tech that did 20
and
damage.
no Durandal tech in this one, looks like.
Yeah, no Durandals and no Sylvias. It's just the Maisha. So it was really, really good. It was like his game also in top 4 was so close. So definitely felt like an absolute nail biter. And
I wish it didn't happen at like middle of the night my time. I would have loved to see it.
Yeah,
I'll definitely peep the VOD once it comes out.
Pretty tough time for like the first few rounds were okay, but then the last few were just like 2-3 a.m. kind of thing. So it was pretty late. And then second place was Puppets. This was run by Symphonus, running the 1 of Cassiopeia, 2
Not
Roaches, 3 Guidances as well. So played really, really well. Like overall, it was just like a very back and forth, a lot of back and forth games in general. And so for Symphonus 2, locking in the World Invite was very cool to see. And then finally, the winner was Kriko. Was actually undefeated in BCS in England this season in Swiss, but then lost in Top Cut. So then managed to like go completely undefeated the entire day and win the entire event with, damn, the list is even called Cardiff Cope. But managed to cope all the way to a first place finish. It's pretty crazy.
Hope now. It's changed.
So Crimson Rose Queen got to flex her power, and just like the power of like if she sticks around, it's like, the turn you play her, you clear your opponent's board, heal up a bunch, and then it's like after that, if she sticks around, you just like use the next turn, just deal a bunch of damage. So it's really good card, and overall like just very huge finish for Kriko, very good season for Kriko. So especially like locking in Worlds invite right before Worlds happens is also just like a very good momentum, I feel like. So
yeah, for sure. Must be an amazing feeling. Like you want to carry this win forward into the big event of the hour, right? So there you go.
Exactly. So,
awesome. Well, I mean, I'm glad we got to see like quite a few variations of lists there in Grand Showdown Zamarin, which is great. And like you said, like with the domination of Puppet Force, you'd think it's like the number 1 favorite to win, but the fact that Rose Queen was able to come out on top despite that is pretty sick. Love that.
Yep. 100%.
All right. Next up is the main topic here. Just like how on Chris's side we did the meta decks and cards, must-have cards. We are going to talk about how Duet of Dawn and Dusk adapted digital Shadowverse and some of the differences over on my side here. So it's really interesting because Dawnbreak Night Edge back in the day was actually a pretty early set by Shadowverse standards. So they really buffed up a lot of the cards when they ported it over to Shadowverse Evolve. And not only that, but Dawnbreak Night Edge was the set that introduced choice cards back in the day, but they actually introduced that in Shadowverse Evolve a set prior with Alter Sphere. So that's pretty interesting that they're sort of carrying on that same theming, but they introduced it earlier. But a lot of the impactful choice cards are still available in this theme set. For example, Vania, obviously Celia being a huge choice pick as well. So let's just talk about it. First of all, I'm going to talk about one card from each class here. Yggdrasil. I'll be honest with you, massive glow up between this one and the digital one. I'll just read you the digital effect here. 6 play point 2/6 drain. Okay. Fanfare, choose, put Blessings of Creature or Wrath or of Nature into your hand. Blessings of Creation was just a draw 2 card and add 2 to your combo on enhance 2. And Wrath of Nature was just a +1 and rush to an allied follower, and then enhance 4, give all allied followers Storm. So very expensive if you want to play that on the same turn as the Yggdrasil in the digital game. In Evolve, massive glow up, 1 cost cheaper, 1 stat higher on attack. Search your deck for a Forcecraft spell, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Activate 1 play point, select a Forcecraft spell that costs X or less in your cemetery. Put it into your EX area for the rest of the turn. It costs 0 play points to play. X equals the number of Forcecraft spells with different names in your cemetery. Activate only once per turn. As you can see, they've completely reworked it and changed it entirely. So it's interesting. Sometimes when they port cards over, they do like a 1-to-1 translation. And other times they just completely change it up, and mostly for power reasons, I find. Like, because the original card was just like not up to standard, and they wanted to make something exciting in the Evolve format. So it's just interesting to see how, you know, the changes were made between the games. Speaking of one that's like kind of 1-to-1 though, I want to talk about Spartacus.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people before this set came out are wondering if Spartacus would have the same effect as it does in digital. In digital, it's a 6/4/5 that makes it so that when you deck out, you win instead of lose. And then at the end of the turn, it draws 2 officers from your deck. And then in Evolve, it says Ward at the start of your end phase, discard any number of cards and draw X cards. X equals the number of cards you discarded plus 1. Then if there are 1 or less cards in your deck, you win the match. So very similar to the digital game, it's an alternate win condition where you can have a new way to just win. Maybe it's a little too scary now in JP because of World Break, perhaps, but just the idea of it is still very cool. Just being able to win in a different way. A lot of people were saying, like, are they going to adapt it in a faithful way for Evolve? And they pretty much did, which I think is super awesome.
Yeah.
Faust is one of the cards that got a huge glow up in Evolve. So they made it way more relevant to the Earthright effect. Gives a follower on your field +1/+1, and also deals 2 damage to each enemy leader, and also you search 2 Earth Sigils and play them. So yeah, they're very good. The original Faust in Shadowverse Digital was very, very underwhelming. It was the same, almost the same stat line. It was a 5/4/5, but it just gave your leader the effect of, at the end of your turn, if an allied follower is in play, give it +2/+1 to a random allied follower, and that's it. So they added 10,000 effects onto the way he works in Shadowverse Evolve.
That'll do
it. To make him a key card and a key player in the archetype. Which is so interesting because I feel like there was a push for Faust to become a new fan favorite character in digital because they kept doing retrains of him. Like they did a gold retrain of him eventually, which was also bad. So I think maybe they were like, you know what? Let's make this one good. That's fine.
Yeah. And they definitely made it good.
Yeah, no kidding. For Dragon, I wanted to talk about Jerva of the Draconic Mail because in the digital game, he had such a crazy effect that they really could not port it over. So Jerva in the digital game made your leader's maximum defense 10, and at the end of your turn, deal 5 damage to an enemy follower, and then if there are no enemy followers, deal to the enemy leader instead. They couldn't do that because in Shadowverse Evolve, max defense doesn't work the same way as it does in Shadowverse Digital. You can overheal at any point in the game. There is no max defense threshold in Shadowverse Evolve. So they changed the card, but they kind of kept the spirit of it, like a huge drawback, but in exchange for massive power is sort of the flavor of the card. And in the Evolve version, you have to discard your whole hand when you play him. And then when you evolve him, he deals 5 to all enemies and then draws you a card. This ends up having synergy with the archetypes that are already in Shadowverse Evolve, like Natural, like we mentioned before. Like you just pump up the damage of your Shadow's Corrosions by discarding your handful of Naturals. And you also get a benefit of if you have like Trail of Light in your hand, you just draw through that, and the effect becomes, not even a downside at that point. So very, very cool. But they kept the flavor, they made it much stronger, but they adapted it in a way that is more conducive to the different rules of the game, basically, because the games are very different.
Yeah.
Caridwen's an interesting one because Caridwen was originally a Shadow card, but of course Shadow and Blood were merged into Abyss.
Scroll back up.
Yeah, scroll back up to the rune part. She does the same thing where she puts an Eternal or an Instant Potion into your hand, but this time the Eternal and Instant Potions have different effects than they did back in the digital game. Eternal Potion in the digital game, it's a 5-cost card that reanimates 10.
Ooh.
Reanimate doesn't really exist, so instead, Eternal Potion in Evolve uh, puts a 3 cost or less playpoint follower, Runecraft follower from your cemetery, summons it and gives it a rush. And usually, you just use to survive Riley and go face. So,
Yeah.
so there you go. It has more synergy with Earthright than the original follower had. That kind of synergy. An instant potion deals 2 damage, or Burial Rite deals 5. Which is actually similar to what it does in Evolve. Instead, it just deals 4 damage and then 2 to the enemy leader. So there you go. It's an instance where they had to adapt the card, not so much because they couldn't keep the flavor, but because it's in a different class entirely.
Yeah.
So it's just one of the constraints of the Abysscraft merge. And if you're waiting for Worlds Beyond, I suppose it would be interesting to take a look at Evolve, the environment in Evolve, and figure out how the Abysscraft merge might affect you in the future as well, like with cards like this moving into different classes potentially. Finally, Vania Nightshade Vampire got a massive glow up in Shadowverse Evolve compared to the digital version. Many people in the digital version community call this one the bad Vania, but not so in Evolve, because in Evolve, it's very, very good. So in the digital version, if you had Vengeance active, which doesn't exist in Shadowverse Evolve, you could play it either as Kind Queen or Blood Queen Vania. Otherwise, it just summoned a bat and dealt 2 damage to both leaders. And then Kind Queen Vania had Drain and gave Forest Bats Bane and Ward. And then Blood Queen Vania had Storm and gave Forest Bats Rush and Bane. Similarly, Blood Queen Vania in Evolve actually also has Storm, which is cool. So they carried that over.
Yep.
But she also is a 6/6, which is crazy.
And bats be free.
Yes, your bats are free and deals 3 damage to enemy followers, which is crazy. Kind Queen Vania also is considered more defensive, so the flavor still carries over. But it heals your leader, and then on Evolve draws you a card and discards a card. So pretty interesting. They carried the flavor, but they just like massively pumped up the impact of the effect. So
and also the damage effect of like when you play a Forest Bat to 3. Give 3 damage to an enemy follower is also like so good for board clearing.
Yes, so good. All right. Next up on the Haven side, let's talk about Karanean Hind. Karanean Hind was sort of for me anyway, back when I played, it felt kind of like the poster child, other than a Sun and Moon, which was the actual poster child of the set. Karanean Hind felt like the one that introduced, like, really hinged on the choose mechanic the most, because Light Hind and Dark Hind were both good in different situations. You know what I mean? So here, the base form puts an amulet into your hand when it strikes, and then if 2 amulets are in play and you have at least 5 play points, you play it as a Light Hind or a Dark Hind instead. The Light Hind would restore 4 defense to the follower at the end of the turn and has Rush. And then Dark Hind was generally the better one. It subtracted 2 from the countdown of all allied amulets. In Evolve, it's very different, but it does still interact with the amulet archetype. So Karanean Hind looks at the top 5 and reveals an amulet from among them and adds it to your hand. Very similar to what it did in the digital game. But then Light Hind has Ward instead of Rush, and on Evolve puts an amulet onto your field, from your field into your cemetery, so you can proc the thing. And you give +4 to your leader instead of the follower itself, which is much better and much more defensive. And then the Dark Hind would put an amulet into its owner's cemetery and then deals 4 to the leader or an enemy follower. So again, because with Shadowverse Evolved, most amulets have a cost to destroy it and activate the effect rather than a countdown, and they change the way it works, but it still interacts with the archetype in a fun and interesting way. So finally, I wanted to talk about Marduk, which is low-key a card that I love in digital because you can do some really funny unlimited shenanigans with it.
Okay.
Where it basically made it so that you can't play followers, but whenever you play a spell, you draw a card, and whenever you play an amulet, you deal to the enemy leader. So you can imagine later in the Shadowverse Digital's game's lifespan, you'd be able to like spam out 0-cost amulets with stuff like Traveler's Respite and OTK your opponent with Marduk.
Right.
It's not good, but it's very funny as a card.
Yeah.
And then in Evolve, they changed it so that if there are at least 5 spells in your cemetery, you heal 5 and draw a card. And if there's 5 amulets in your cemetery, you deal 5 to each enemy follower and draw a card. So it still encourages you to play amulets and spells without it being a hard restriction. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting card design. Of course, it's not a very good card in Evolve either, but I just thought it was a very neat way to adapt the card while making it still playable within the framework of the new rule set. So, yeah,
For sure.
as a big fan of both the digital and physical versions of Shadowverse, I always find it like very entertaining to see how they were able to port some stuff over, and this was no exception, especially because Dawnbreak Night Edge, it's an expansion that I have a lot of fond memories of from back in the day. So seeing all these old favorites return with the same spirit is always part of the joy for me when I look at a new set in Shadowverse Evolve. So there you go.
We're just missing that Grand Blue set right after.
Eventually,
right
yeah.
before.
I need the convicts in Evolve too. When's that happening, please?
Yeah, right. Missing in action, but
put them in there. I'm saying. All right. Well,
wrap up for this part. We have of course, the comment corner, right?
That's it. Yeah. Before we end off, we have the comment corner, and this is a comment that I found interesting by Edge Clinge 6975. Side Game should make an anime or digital game based off SVE's physical card game. That's one of the reasons why Vanguard got really popular, because fans can relate themselves across the media. And I thought that was an interesting comment, because as a newer Vanguard fan, that's also one of the things that I love about Vanguard, the fact that I can tune in to the anime every week and see a sneak peek of what new cards are actually coming out. Like,
yeah,
that's always been so cool to me. And I don't know, it's just a very interesting sort of, because there's a lot of crossover because Evolve is a Bushido game as well, so people are sort of carrying over the same expectations, and who knows, maybe one day it would be nice, right?
Day, yeah, I mean, like Flame was pretty close because they released a lot of the Flame cards into Evolve, but then also like a lot of the Flame cards haven't come out yet in any form of Shadowverse, so
right.
Hoping for Worlds Beyond, if they come to Worlds Beyond, then hopefully that means they'll come to Evolve as well.
But, I mean, if they don't come to Worlds Beyond, what I would love is like a new anime series that closely mirrors the digital game in that same spirit, in the way that Vanguard does. Because I feel like that's better synergy, right? Like you watch the thing and you're like, I'm going to go download this on my phone right now. And then you actually see the cards that are in the thing. So I don't know. I just think it's cool. It's an interesting thought experiment, I guess, like what that would look like. So.
And Flame was successful. So it's like they could definitely, like there was a reason to try and like replicate its success.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be it for this episode of EX Area. Again, if you want to catch the JP-sided news, go make sure to check out on Chris's channel, Different Fight on YouTube. And, if you're listening to this on audio platforms, well, you have to listen to that to get here, unless you skipped to this part, which is crazy, because that requires more work than just letting the podcast play. Anyway, make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're on. You can do it. It's easy. It takes like 2 clicks, and we really appreciate it. And other than that, thank you for tuning in to this episode of EX Area. Hopefully we'll be back next month-ish for another episode. And
it'll be the pre-Worlds one, I guess, right?
That. Yeah, after Worlds, I would assume. Yeah, so that'd be really exciting.
Either after or like right before, I guess, right?
Or right before, yeah. So lots of news to cover. And I mean, just in general, it's a great time to be a Shadowverse fan. So 100%. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride along with us. Other than that, thanks for listening. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.